We on, y'all. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bounceback Wednesdays. I am your host, Jamila Hanif.
I'm your co-host, Fatima Honey.
And thank you all again for tuning in. Everyone that's tuning in, please be sure to like this broadcast. Love it if you feel like loving it. Be sure to step out for a second to share it everywhere. Share it on your page, share it to groups that you're in. The discussions we have on Bounceback Wednesdays are needed conversations. So, what's up, y'all? What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's going on? How you doing, ladies?
Hello. We have some testosterone on this evening. I'm excited.
I wanted to tell you guys, y'all look absolutely fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys do as well.
I look a mess, so I already know.
No, it's okay.
I'm with you, bro. They caught me right after my.
We got.
It's okay. Y'all still some handsome guys.
Oh, it's all good.
Look, somebody talked me into going to play basketball today. I'm not even gonna act like I got out there and was like, oh yeah, it was like just like before. Nah, it wasn't.
Oh, good for you. You got out there?
Man, I had a youngster blow by me. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But other than that, did you enjoy yourself?
Oh yeah, I just trying to go back to the college days, doing all that craziness. No, I'm gonna just do like the old men do. I'm gonna shoot my jump shots and pick and choose when I want to challenge one of these youngsters.
Yeah.
I got out there like, oh, I'm gonna hang with these youngsters. Probably about the fifth or sixth time down the court, I was like, nah.
Well, you tried, so that's what matters. I hear echo. So if somebody is recording, not recording, but if somebody have the stream up somewhere else, yeah. No, it's gone. Okay, cool. So everybody tuning in. I see we got some viewers. So please be sure to share everywhere. We provide these conversations intentionally to raise awareness about adverse childhood experiences. So for those of you who don't know what adverse childhood experiences are, ACEs, Tim, you want to share or you want me to share?
I want you to share, but I share what they are.
Yeah. Okay. So between 1995 and 97, the Kaiser and CDC conducted a study. And what they discovered, they conducted a study on 17,800 of their HMO members. So this happened down in Southern California, right? So what they discovered was that a lot of their health issues, a lot of chronic illnesses, lung disease, cancer, heart disease, were traced back to their adverse childhood experiences. And so these 10 indicators that they had conducted, the 10 indicators are in 3 categories. It's abuse, neglect, and dysfunctional household. And Fatima's going to share what those 10 indicators are.
Oh, it's child neglect and child abuse, physical neglect and physical abuse, emotional neglect, emotional abuse, mental illness of an adult in the household, substance abuse, incarceration or domestic violence. Well, those are together. Witnessing domestic violence as well, and a loss of a parent.
Loss of a parent due to death, divorce, or abandonment. So someone who have experienced these 10 indicators prior to their 18th birthday, they are really prone to some chronic illnesses if you have 4 or more. If you intervene, and it all depends on the intensity of it, how frequent it was, how chronic these experiences were, but we're raising awareness about it because we want to create safer environments for children to grow up in. So our guests, we have some amazing men here today. We are raising awareness also about, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? So we want to bring our men on here. So we'll start with Mr. Carter. How you doing again?
How you doing? How you doing, ladies? Mr. Kevin.
Yes, sir.
What made you accept the invite to Bounceback Wednesday?
Number one, when somebody calls you and tells you, "Oh, you're gonna be on my show tonight," I've learned you don't keep black women waiting. So, that was number one. Number two is the fact that you guys are bringing up mental health. Like people are really ignorant to how much mental health affects people, especially men. I know you usually hear a lot of people when they talk about mental health and stuff like that, it's more geared towards women. And people, I don't know, for some reason, when it comes to men expressing, what problems we have mentally, it's like our masculinity is being questioned. If if I come to you and say, you know what, I'm having some emotional problems, like I'm not, according to society, I'm a man, I'm not supposed to have it. But what people don't understand is, so I've been diagnosed with PTSD and depression for my time in the military. And it was very interesting while I was going through the military. In my younger days, I was laughing at this. I was like, man, these guys are faking. Like, ain't nothing wrong with them. But then being on the other side of the coin now, I'm having to apologize. Like, oh man, like these like people been screaming for help. But then as I'm pushing 40 now, I'm noticing that those issues that I'm just being aware of now didn't start when I was in the military. That stuff started back when I was in Richmond on South 15th Street. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like I never knew that, and I give my grandparents their credit. They did the best they could to shield me from stuff. But it's just some things that the world or that your parents and stuff like that can't shield you from. Whether you see it on TV, whether you see it in your neighborhood or your friends or school or anything like that, you cannot erase what goes into your head. And sometimes subconsciously, you start acting on the things that you repeatedly see and hear, which has taught me in my later days how they're controlling us and how it's so easy to manipulate us with the matrix. Like, I mean, just look at it. Like, I mean, why do we get up and hustle like we do for a better life? Is it because we want a better life, or is it they told us that we couldn't have this, so now we, you know what I'm saying? So now we're working to try to get that Benz and try to get that big house, but then they don't teach us how they get it. You know what I'm saying? They keep us trapped in these 9-to-5 jobs, not knowing that we are the creators of the world. Like, we come up with everything, but they come up with the rules to manage everything. And it wasn't until probably about 2 or 3 years ago that I really started diving down into it. Even just like the credit game, like, man, how they just, we know when we grew up, and I'm quite sure Kevin, you used to hear this from men all the time. It was all about cash. Cash is king. Like, cash is king. Like you got to go get that bag. Cash is king. But then you see these basic Kaiser Permanente working white folks living in Black Hawk. Like, how that work? But I'm hustling trying to get this cash that I'll never get because I don't know how to, you know what I mean? So that's why I start paying attention. I told you, every time I talk to you and your sister, I learn something new.
Well, thank you. It ain't her. But hey, Kev, what's up with it, Kev?
What's going on?
She a hater.
How you doing?
Fighting words.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing. I'm all right.
Working hard like a hard-working man, okay?
I'm trying to tell you, but it's all good. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's your second time coming on,
Oh, yeah.
You told your story last time, and I just want to check in, see how you doing. What made you?
Oh, yeah. Anytime you want to talk about mental health, I'm always down because we don't talk about it enough. And I'm glad that, you coming from a man's standpoint, we have to really, really restructure the definition of what strength is. Because we don't, as men, we look at strength and think that it's so many different things, and it's not what we've been taught it is. And we have to really reprogram our minds to really understand that we're human first, and that these emotions that we don't want to deal with, It blankets our success in life because we don't deal with, if I'm supposed to cry, I'm supposed to cry. Like we hold it, and 10 years later, now I'm trying to cry. Like we just have to understand, the mental health is beyond just a masculine thing or a feminine thing. It's a human thing, and we all have a brain, and we all think about things. We all see, like you said, you can't. The brain doesn't forget what it sees. It doesn't, and we have to be better at articulating which way we're gonna deal with certain things when they do go in our brain. So anytime, I love the opportunity to talk. Like, I love it.
But what made you accept the invite?
Just like I said, you reached out. Anytime you reach out to me, I'm always trying to down to be, because I always appreciate the platform you do and the conversations you do have and the people that you do reach. You have these real conversations that need to be had. These conversations need to be talked about. It should be an everyday type of situation, type of thing. Like we need to have these conversations as a community, as a people, so that we definitely get ahead in life and learn how to have the house in Black Hawk. Like we stop ourselves. Society is going to be society. We have to dominate where we at the 13% of what we are, and just get understand the functions of life. But it all starts with our mental. You can't do nothing unless this right. And I think that we forget that. We try to do everything, try to go get a bag, try to run around, try to do all these things. And when we get it, it's not right because this ain't right. This got to be right. Because these two things, your mind and your heart, have to be in control of things in life. And once we miss that, that's it. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you. Carter.
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing?
I'm excellent.
Your
Any day above 6 feet, I'm taking it.
Your eyes look so beautiful.
I know, girl, I can't even look. I was like, no, I couldn't. I already said it earlier.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm trying to get paid off. Y'all keep saying that. I ain't gonna lie though. I don't know what it is. So I took Jay up on her challenge. So we've been having this water challenge, and I've probably drinking more water than probably we've been doing this for about 2 months now, about 2 or 3 months now, than I've probably had in a long time. So I'm probably at about 1.5 gallons or so a day.
Come on,
but I've been noticing, like, for ever since I started, just like I gave up soda and all that, and of course I've lost probably about 20 pounds or so, or whatever, which is why I got back on the basketball court. But I don't know what it is, I'm getting that everywhere. I'm getting carded now. I'm pushing. like yesterday, I went to get a drink yesterday, and the lady was like, "Yeah, I need to see your ID." I'm like, "I'm older than you. What are you talking about?" Whatever. But you know what? I'll take it.
You got that Benjamin Button going on over there, huh?
Man, I'll take it.
Oh gosh. Okay, y'all. Okay.
Now look. If my hair start growing back, y'all really ain't gonna be able to mess with me.
That's funny. You play too. Look, Carter, you took the ACEs questionnaire?
Yes, I did. Really? You made me take it. Bully.
No. So you don't have to say what your score is. If you want to share your score, you can. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But what came up for you when you were taking this?
Honestly, it answered a question for me that I was afraid to ask. And it was funny that you was talking about that earlier, Kev, how we need to change our view of what strength is. Because up until me and Jay started having these conversations about mental health, I was actually afraid to talk about it. Like just on some like realness, like, man, I don't, like, I'm afraid to even, go back in time and think about some of these experiences and stuff that I had. And it was just interesting. In one conversation, she asked me like a series of questions. Before I knew it, we're 2 hours in, and I'm thinking about stuff that happened when I was like 6, and I'm like, wow, now I know what that did to me and why, you know what I'm saying? Why I'm this way, why I'm so closed off in certain, I'm like, wow, like this is not even something that I decided that I wanted in my life, but due to circumstances, it made me this way. Like, oh my God. Like I'm really, the whole time I'm in my mind, I'm thinking I'm free, but like you said, bro, if you're not free up here, then you really not. And it's a lot. Yes, whoever that user is right there that said men are afraid to be vulnerable.
Why?
It's the reason why we're afraid to be vulnerable is because it's like I said earlier, our masculinity is being challenged. Because if I come to you and I say, babe, hey, like I'm having some issues and I want to share this with you. You know what I'm saying? We afraid, like you gonna look at me like you ain't gonna look at me the same. You know what I'm saying? He ain't that, he can't protect me. Something wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that we all messed up in
Come
some
on,
shape
man.
or form. All of us got a story. We all done been through some tragic stuff. Like it's just the way the world is. From the time we came into the world,
Mhm.
I think all of us then is some circumstance that done shaped our lives into who we are. I've been knowing Jay for years. I'm probably the most loving person ever because I love people unconditionally. Like I don't care what you do. You could be the businessman in the suit or the dude standing in the corner. I don't care. I love everybody. I treat everybody with their respect. But I also had to learn the hard way. And maybe this is from some strategic programming from whoever is trying to teach us to be not ourselves, but to be what they want us to be. It
It's my daddy. That's my daddy.
oh that is he hit that on the nose right there.
That's
But you're
facts,
right.
though. I mean,
You're right though. That's
man,
facts
we
though.
can't.
It's everything is programming. I mean, for crying out loud, like earlier today, my cousin called me. She was crying, and it was funny. All she said was, "I was so angry at this situation. I went and got a Big Mac, and then it made her sick because she doesn't eat fast food, but it made her sick, right?" So as I'm getting on, actually to get on texting you, Jay, I get on my phone to hit you about the link. Guess what the first ad was that came up?
Talking about mental health.
The burger.
Or some fast food or something.
Yes, it was a coupon for a Big Mac at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they
man,
listening.
they listening to the conversations, and you can't unplug. They're not allowing us to unplug
Right.
at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now that we got this new tracking device,
Right. Right.
you know what I mean? Like you ain't got to commit a crime no more. You got the low jack with you all the time. But that test it really did make me realize that I've been wrong on a lot of things. I should be talking to somebody about it. I should be
talking to me. It's okay.
Expressing what was going on and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, though, you got to remember, like, and what you like, you guys are so far and in between. You know what I mean? How many women out there are really strong enough to be that place of peace where
Right.
I can come rest my head on your shoulder without no judgment.
Right.
And without you looking at me going, he's soft. I can't deal with this dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And that's so sad. And women has like that issue of not what? What you say?
Can we say some women? Some
okay, some women. Some. I'm sorry because our category. She think our category all. Like I have to speak Jamaica language when I'm talking. I have to speak Jamaica language. So yes, some women. And it's sad. It's sad that you guys deal with especially black men. You guys deal with so much from all angles.
Mm-hmm.
All angles. It's like you guys do not get a break with anything. Mm-hmm. And we are so stuck on your mistakes. And you know, I truly apologize for that. That like we can't let go of the mistakes that you guys make when you guys hurt us, not realizing the things that we do too. And you know, and I'm sorry for all women, I'm apologizing.
But in that instance where you said like what people need to realize is it don't matter how successful like you become. Because I thought that I was like, oh man, let me get out here, get this education and all that, start these businesses. Let me go, as long as I got the bag, everything is gonna be good. Nope, I'm still fighting. And
Mhm.
no matter how far I've climbed that ladder, guess what? The fight only got harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you right here, they ain't paying attention to you. But then when you start climbing their ladder and you done figured out how to play their game, now it's wait a minute, we can't. Oh, one of them is starting to sneak through the cracks. Wait a minute, we gotta. Whew,
Knock them down.
yeah, we gotta. And it's always just being a business owner, and being in. I mean, being in the industry that I'm in, like this is. I mean, let's be honest with you. It's dominated by older white men.
Mhm.
So for me to come into the game, own my own planes, own my own stuff, or whatever, and not have to depend on them, or whatever, not have to go to Chase and get bank loans and all that. I did everything on my own, so they can't control me. It burns them, but then they put speed bumps in front of me to try to knock me down, not knowing that I already saw those coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all think I'm still driving to the destination, not knowing that I'm already flying.
Mm-hmm.
So, the
Mm-hmm.
look, and then they try to, throw a little turbulence here and there, but you know how that go.
So you got it. You got it down. You got it down.
No, I don't have it down.
You try.
Cause if I had it down, I could be talking to you and leaning on your shoulder about my problems.
I hear you. Kevin!
Get her, Kev. Get her.
Kevin! Okay. Kevin observing. He's taking it all in. Okay. Your turn, Kev. Okay.
It's all good. Well,
So
it was different. Like I say, taking the test was different for me because I already knew I'm adopted, so and I went through a divorce at 12. So it just like though between those two things that spiraled a lot of things out of control, but it did bring this closure to understanding of a lot of things that I do need to deal with. That I think that you over it and you're really not. We're not really over things. We don't really get over things. Like until we process them right, we don't get over them, and that's why we're able to be triggered as we go through life by random events. That's what PTSD is, and I think that a lot of us, well, the world, everybody in the world suffers with some type of anxiety, whether we want to admit it or not. That's just how it is. And in kids, it's a lot. It's a lot enhanced because we don't really have a filter for as an adult. We kind of can filterize it and kind of just like, all right, I gotta stop tripping. Kids don't have that I gotta stop tripping mechanism yet, so they just really just be tripping. So learning that and learning, we are who we are because of what we've experienced. Puts a really understanding on when you do take the test and really understand who you are, like see where okay, I can see why I went left here, I can see why I went right here, but it's just all a learning process, and you just got to understand that life is just a process. You got to go through things and you come out of it, you learn from it, you grow from it, you hurt, you gain, but it's just part of life. And I think that you don't take too much of it in it, then you can kind of get through it. If you make it all about you and kind of just deal with those emotions, it becomes overwhelming. So I appreciated the opportunity to take it, and I'm always trying to learn something new about myself that I don't know to get better about, so I can talk about it and heal from it. In order for me to be my best version, I have to really heal from certain things that I don't want to talk about. And as men, we don't want to talk about these things, and it is difficult to be looked at as can't handle things because of emotionally when I'm given. We're it's like we're thrown into situations where we can't win, and we are getting blamed for when we fail, and it's just like I think that we have to understand how really hard it is being a black man in this world. Like it is, it's a real life thing.
Mhm.
I don't think it is talked about enough. When they said, Black Lives Matter, I mean, that was to me, it was a direct shot to really say Black men lives matter, because, we are really undervalued when it comes to, talking about who we are and talking about the things that we've had to overcome to get here. It's an everyday struggle, and we can't. Every time we go outside, we have to be a Black man. So it's not something we can take a day off from. So you pattern that with how society sees us, and then what we wasn't taught about ourselves to how we supposed to see ourselves. It's a it's a nowhere situation to get around, and that's why I say a lot of men, a lot of Black men are out there and we struggle because we have to go deal with what society says on top of what we say about us, because nobody taught us that we're supposed to love ourselves. I mean, we didn't grow up knowing that. I mean, we didn't go to school. There's no books. There's no training that says you need to love yourself, Kevin. It's always a training of how we're supposed to treat each other or how we're supposed to treat people. And there's no self deposits of how we treat each other. So until we get better with that, and that's when, we can become, this dominant, you know, generation of who we need to be, because, we always gonna dominate. We just got to figure it out. Like, like we got our hands, Black people got their hands in everything. Like it's the world revolves around, regardless of what people want to say, the world revolves around what we say, what we do. We just haven't figured out how to put it all together.
Right.
Like that's just the reality of it. We've been struggling for years trying to figure it out, but everybody watches and waits for us to see what we have to do. And because of that, it's just it becomes its own struggle, because we are the trendsetters. We are all these different things. So we got to always keep our emotions in check. We got to always make sure our I's are dotted, our T's are crossed. Like that's a lot. We can't have a moment.
This Mr. Martin, though, oh my God, this dude.
It's really Mr. Hanif.
Oh, he is.
You want to read that?
Go
read
it, because I want to say something to it.
Okay, go ahead.
Something to it. I really, really, really do. We as Black men have a very unique struggle. But look, listen. I just want to really, because I don't want to lose my train of thought right now.
Okay, go ahead.
The post-traumatic slave syndrome. Have y'all heard of that book before?
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all read it?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So, post-traumatic slave syndrome, Dr. Joy DeGruy. And I was reading it on my way to DC because I've been had it for years. But anyways, the things that our ancestors had to see. Okay, you got Black men. Okay, first on this shit. First of all, people on there urinating, giving birth, like all kind of stuff on this shit. Okay, that in itself is like, really? Then you're enslaved, and you have to see your children be separated. You see your daughter getting raped. You see your wife getting raped, and you're taught to just shut up, don't say anything. If you say anything, you're going to get punished. If you even speak and say anything, you get everything stripped away from you. I just want to get why people like. I mean, it's. Yeah, y'all.
I think the worst of it, though, happened before the slave ship.
Yeah.
I think the worst of it happened when they taught me that it was okay to sell Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay? So me and Kevin both came like
that was good, Damien.
Like
real talk.
Real
talk.
real
like just look at, and I can only, just as a businessman, right? You always hear this, people say that Black folks can never work together, right? Mm-hmm. You hear that all the time. They say Black folks, y'all can never work together. Two Black men, y'all can never work together. Blah 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 blah. Right? From the gate, they taught us that me and Kevin can't win together.
Together,
it's got to be one or the other.
Yep.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah. So I want to stay on the continent. I want to stay running free. But y'all finna put y'all said y'all gotta put 12 of us on that boat.
Yeah.
There's 20 of us.
Come on, man. Talk to us.
I don't want to go. So let me get 3 of my boys together right quick. And hey, all 4 of us don't want to go. So these other cats, we gotta get them on the boat.
Yep.
And I think it started when they first start enslaving us. That was the thing. It was because they didn't come after y'all first. They took out the head of the households first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was us. You know what I mean? Which is why from the gate our masculinity was challenged from the gate. Like, nah, we gonna knock them out first. Because at the end of the day, you look at the Europeans back in the day compared to us. Look at us. Like, really?
Right.
Okay. Like
Swollen.
like you really
Right.
think you're gonna go head to head with me? Yeah, okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just I think it started then. It started with we gotta figure out a way to make it all right for them to sell each other out.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And then look at what they doing now. Now
It
that
goes on.
now that just even with the things that are going on, like with success or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Why we couldn't have Tupac and Biggie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
can't do both.
You know what I mean? One of them had to go, then we end up losing both of them.
Yeah.
And then as you see, just time and time again, like all of like they figure out a way to divide us all. Me and Kev can't stand toe to toe and fight everybody else. We gotta fight each other because guess what? It's one beings. I want it. Kev want it. Wait a minute. Okay. So now we plotting against each other instead of trying to figure out how to both get it.
Yep.
And then it just got worse, of course, on the boat. And then, of course, when we got to the plantation, like Dad said, on there, they stripped us of everything. So, I mean, if you really think about it, we really don't know who we are.
Right.
Which is why if you look at any map on the planet, Africa is the biggest continent on the planet, but it ain't the biggest on the map.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying, if they say that all the time, oh, this is scale to size. They lying. It's not scale to size. Why is the biggest continent on the planet the smallest?
And even when they view stuff from Africa, they always want to try to make it seem like we in a safari. And that's not what it is out there.
Yeah,
Man,
I mean, how old were you when you realized that it wasn't just people just running around, with flies around them? Like, I mean, that was the image our whole life. To know, from us, we looking at it like, so it takes us as in like, well, I don't want to go back. Like, I'm not going back because that's all we see.
Right.
Like, we came up out of that. We came up, and it's just like the reality is that was home. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, it was 2009. My dad got a speaking engagement, and we went to South Africa and Ghana. And first thing out of his mouth was, "We going to Africa." I'm looking at him like, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We done been on some cold trip, and I'm like, out of all the, I'm like, bruh, like really, like this where we going? Like,
What you want to do?
I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you hear all the people joking around on it. You watching Animal Planet, and I'm like, oh man, this is about to be something different. And the whole trip, I got my foot in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I get over there, you get now, and we talking, you land in South Africa, and we talking about you got to get away from the touristy part of South Africa, and you really get back into those villages and stuff like that. You see the most beautiful and amazing people ever, which was crazy because I done been over there twice. And when I say Wakanda forever is real, like we are really over there doing some amazing things. You just don't see it. They won't show that.
Right.
I mean, I went to my graduation present. I begged my parents for this. They sent me to Egypt because I wanted to go see the pyramids for myself.
Yes, sir.
Like, bro, we did that, right? We in 2020 got all the technology in the world, and they can't redo that.
Nope.
Right.
But our people did it with minimal stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
No cranes, no nothing. Just animals, straw, mud, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And you get it doesn't withstand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? But the Great Wall of China and the pyramids are what the only things you can see structurally made from space. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been doing amazing stuff, but they just for some strange reason they find ways to trick us.
Right.
I just want to acknowledge everyone tuning in. I love my daddy and my mama. They both on here, and it's just like they just.
I know. I'm trying to fly to come meet Pops though. Pops got me over here.
We was raised in a cult, right?
Daddy, that's my daddy.
Like
it was my mama, and that's my mama.
like we might have to hide Pops though. They might see this and be like, oh, wait a minute.
You know too much. You know too much, man.
Like, man.
He's a reader. My dad loves reading. Like he's a reader. Yeah, that's funny. But
hide it. You know, you want to keep something from us, you got to put it in the books.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And they try to steer that.
We don't know about nothing. That's what keeps us behind. Like we don't know enough.
And then we always take whatever they say to us, we believe it. No, do your own research. Do your own research.
It's too easy. That's what I say. Especially with technology.
But you gotta remember though, they started that game
way.
I mean, think about our grandfathers, our dads in that instance, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They were builders. They used their hands. You know, they were carpenters, electricians. They ran the shipyards and all of that. I mean, for crying out loud, Richmond, California was built on the backs of Black folks in the shipyards. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all Richmond used to be until, you know, that's a whole nother story. We know what happened now, but that's a whole nother story. But you see how like they took our creativity away from us by telling us go to college and get a degree. Mm-hmm. Like you know, go get that piece of paper or whatever. I'll be honest, I got 4 degrees. Don't use none of them. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I got that, like my 3rd one, that I realized all this is a certificate of completion.
Right.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It just well, the United States military was paying for it, so it wasn't on my time.
You lucky because they rape our pocket, man.
Yeah, but you think about all these you know these kids that's going to college paying all this money to go to these schools and all that. You know what I mean? And it's like, do I really? Elon Musk ain't got a degree.
Right.
He's the richest man in the world. I barely got his high school diploma, but he the richest man in the world. Why I need to go to school and do all that? But what I learned though is white folks send their kids to school not for education. Yeah, they send their kids to school for connections.
Yeah.
It's to go meet. Yeah, it's to go meet George Bush's grandson and all that kind of stuff. It's all about connections. It's not about what you. I mean, honestly, we all went to college before. You really didn't learn anything in the classroom.
But it's those clubs, like they be having the little clubs, and you got to be a part of a certain groups and everything of that sort within school. Right.
Yeah. But we need the problem is we need to be creating our own clubs,
right?
And like teaching the game. I mean, you think about it. Every time we start figuring a game out, they change it. They change the rules
with the words.
It's just real quick. They change it. Think about it. When the housing market crashed back in, what was that, 2005, 2006 or whatever?
It was like when I lost my job in 2007.
Yeah.
With crypto now, they trying to change the crypto stuff on us.
I mean, just every time we learn, like every time we go, oh, wait a minute, and we figure it out, and there's too much of us coming up, they figure out a way to they tweak it
to pull us back down.
Yeah, they pull the rug right from under. It's like, oh, wait a minute, they done figured it out. and they figure out a way to, like, now, if y'all, I watched the news today. I usually don't watch the news because the news is depressing, but I watched it today, and we had the shooting in
Buffalo.
Buffalo. We had all of that, right? So this whole awareness of black men, black women, colored folks coming out of their shells. We're speaking on stuff. We're now we're standing up. Now they don't flip the whole script and they're saying, "Oh my goodness, the Biden administration is trying to replace all white folks with colors." This is on national news today.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
wow.
That they said this. That there is, I forgot what it was called. Dad, I know you know what I'm talking about, but it's actually a term for it, for them trying to replace the older white folks with black folks now. It's actually a term for it. And I'm like, how they got a term for it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
Replacement theory.
Yes, there you go. Who said it?
Cortez. Mr.
Yes.
Quinn.
They were talking about the replacement theory. And I'm like, it's a replacement theory for me to be successful? Wow.
Look at two black men, okay?
But that was back in when the Polish and all them came over, and then they was threatened by us. So we used to get chose for jobs before then. Then they started simulating themselves. So they started assimilating themselves in order to fit in order to get those jobs that we had. So then that's why. So I'm wondering if that's when this came about. Maybe the replacement theory came about in order because we used to get positions that they wasn't able or qualified for. So they started changing their names. They started, to fit into the, what's that, Anglo-Sextus dynamic. So I wonder if that's when that came about.
Yeah, everybody want to be us.
Let me tell y'all something, okay? Y'all, this is a great conversation. It really, I don't even want to stop y'all. I feel like we need to have a whole
2-hour session.
like we do. All this is good. Like, we know why we all mentally messed up, where this stuff come from, where's the history of it and everything. What can we do to change that? Like, what can we do to change that? We all recognize that they didn't want us working together, and what are we going to do to work together? What can we do? We all have children. Everybody on here have children. So what are we going to do to, what are we going to teach our kids? What are we going to give our kids so that, they can do better? They're not struggling. They don't have to deal with these, a lot of these mental illnesses or the severity of it. Like, what are we going to do to create trauma-informed culture? Like, what are we gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Because I'm ready. So what y'all gonna do?
One word. It's one word.
What is it?
I learned this on my trip coming back. I was coming back from Korea. I was reading this, and I was sitting next to a man, and we were just talking about how there's one universal language throughout the whole planet. We talking about animal kingdom, everything, right? There's one universal language that you talk about it every day. I mean, at the beginning of your show, you got the gospel music playing. It's right in front of our faces. Is love. I have to love Kevin.
And compassion.
Because that's my brother. Like, I gotta love him and trust him unconditionally. And that's the part that we gotta learn. We gotta learn to love each other. That's it. Once we learn how to do that, everything else it'll be like a stack of dominoes. It'll just fall right into place.
So let's go here with y'all, with you men, okay? Each one of y'all, Kev, let's start with you. How were you taught to love? Because we've had this conversation before, Fatima. I'm sure Deanna is watching right now.
But it's different. Most black men come from a strong black woman. So that's where we generate our love from. But ironically, we generate our love from that source, but we need that father source to show us how to love and what love is. And because we don't see that, because we don't see a man taking care of a woman like they should, we see a strong black woman. So, like for me, like growing up, like I that was dominated by strong black women. So I won't even do anything unless a woman's involved. Like I can't do any. It has to be a woman somewhere involved in it. Like I can't do a all man trip. Like somebody got it. Anybody's wife booked the trip. Like it can't be. I'm so I'm like no. A woman has to be involved, and it's just that's where it has to be like that. And it's just we have to get away from the understanding that the idea of love has to be shown to us. Like I looked at my dad and I said, well, my dad showed me affection. But his dad didn't show him no affection. And then his dad was a drunk. So it's like, it's a domino thing. So I think that, because we keep getting these ideas of love from, our mother and not our father, it really messes us up. I see that going forward in life. I mean, where we at in life, how we look at it and what we identify it as. And that's a tough place. It is tough. It's tough, as far as being a black man and not really seeing that, because a lot of us didn't have that father sit down, let's have a real conversation about life type of situation. We, and mom's only gonna talk about so much. So it's like, we don't really get that. So what we do, we figure it out for ourselves.
Do you have children, Kevin?
I do.
Okay, so what do you do now in order to show them something different from what you
I talk about me and my youngest, because he's the one that lives with me. We talk about everything. We open. It's an open canvas. Everything he says, I normalize. It doesn't matter what he talks about. I make sure that he's okay talking about anything, because I understand when I was a kid, my brain went places, and I tried to make my own sense of it instead of looking and having that adult to confide in to relieve these informations and get the idea of what it really means. Because his child mind can't take all everything in and make sense of everything. So we keep it open and we talk every day. It's not just, how are you doing? It's, well, how was your day? Well, what made your day bad? What made your day good? What could have made it better? Like, I get into the understanding and really have these conversations with him, because kids are smart. And if you don't really meet them where they're at and really understand how smart they are, you're going to miss it. And then they're not going to be able to receive the information that you try to give them.
Damien, you have.
You didn't? Did you hear what she said?
Oh, wow, he got.
I heard.
I don't want to go there.
It was breaking up.
What? No. Say it. Go ahead.
I said, do you have children?
Yeah, I ain't never scared. Oh yeah.
Okay. What do you do to show them love?
The first thing, I'm present.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. So it's gonna suck, but we in the conversation, so I'm gonna say it. So I didn't really get close to my dad till I hit to about 2.5 years ago, when my mom passed away. When I lost my mom to cancer or whatever, I was done. Because she was my champion. You know what I'm saying? I watched my mom battle cancer for 34 years and never complained about it. And when she died, he didn't even call me. He didn't call me. He didn't do nothing. I was done with this. I was done with it. I was like, gotcha, right? I went to church, and it was they were talking about like forgiveness and getting the details, because you don't know what mental trauma that in my mind, I never stepped back and looked at like, man, my pops might be suffering, and you know what I'm saying, I don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I was just concerned about me. Like, bro, my mom just died, bro. You don't even call me, bro. Like, oh man, I'm done with you. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna go see him. And this is the first time I had ever seen my dad cry. And rang the doorbell, because I'm hot. I'm beating on the door. I'm like, bro, you ain't answering your phone. You gonna open it? I done flew 4 hours, bro. You opening this door? We gonna have this conversation. Like I was on something like, bro, we finna see we both got the Carter name, but I'm finna show you that I'm taking the torch, bro. I'm finna whoop your ass. Like it's finna be one of them situations, right? He opened the door and he just broke down crying, and he was like, I didn't call you because I didn't know what to say.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, what you mean what you mean you don't know what to say? And he was like, I was never a presence in your life. So what could I say?
Mm.
And I'm like, I had to stop and think about it. Like, okay, let's have this conversation. And as he's going through him actually things that I never knew before. Like I spent so much time under my grandma and my aunties, but I never knew. In my mind, I'm just like, that's my auntie and my grandma now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my auntie, that's my grandma and them. Like you said, those women, they always gonna love you. They gonna nurture you. They gonna do whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm like, why does this cat? I see him when I see him. I look like this dude. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We both got a bald head, both got brown eyes, but I really don't know this cat. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. He my dad. We got the same last name. Whatever. Okay, cool. Or whatever. But he finally started telling me about his childhood and how my grandfather was a raging alcoholic.
Yes, sir.
When they was back in Mississippi, and how he had to fight his dad. You know what I'm saying? Before my grandma left him and they moved to California. And it was it broke my heart in a good way. But this man, my dad is 65, 65, to look me in my face and go, I gave you to my mom because I didn't know how to love you. I didn't know how to be a father to you. And I'm like, damn, like I done flew this whole flight on something like I'm finna tear your ass a whole new one. And I'm like, I can look around the house and tell that when he got the call that my mom passed, he never left the house. Like he had been ordering food in, this shit everywhere. And I'm like, my dad's a neat dude. So for the house to be looking a mess like this, I'm like, damn, this dude ain't even left the house. So he knew I was coming, that I was angry and I was coming. But he, you know what I'm saying? He didn't know what to say. And it's crazy. Like it changed like the whole face and the whole view of him, or whatever the case may be. Because I never knew. In my mind, he was just this dude I looked like that was out there providing for us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I went to private school. Like, I never wanted for anything as a kid. You know what I mean? But I never saw this dude. Like, but he was out there making a living, and I couldn't stand him for that for so long. But I never knew what he was battling. You know what I'm saying? The whole time, you know what I mean? Why he is the way he is because like his biggest fear for me to even find out what his bigger fear is. I'm like, Dad, like what are you so afraid of? Because I've noticed that all the men in my family, they all move off of fear. Everything is fear based. Don't start your own business. Go get the 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? That's job security, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then I said, no, I'm not going to do that. When I was in the military, I learned the concept of time. Time was my most valuable asset.
Right.
But while I'm in this uniform, guess what? I can't control it at all. Somebody going to always tell me where I got to be, where I got to go, where I got to do. So when I retired out, I never thought ever about getting a job or working for somebody ever again because I'm wanting command of my time. Oh,
Yes, sir.
hell. Like, nah. So it was funny because that was another thing that came up with me and my dad too, was I've watched him become this successful person that he is, but then I wanted to start a business and you didn't help me start it.
Aw.
Why didn't you? And this and again we had that conversation and he was like, because I was afraid. And in my mind, I'm going, afraid of what? And he was like, I was afraid that you, he said, you've always been that person that went against the grain and you always proved that, you know, you were going to be something greater than me. He was like, but I felt like if I would have gave you the money to start it and you would have lost it, it would have just destroyed me. And I'm like, how, Dad? Like, when you fail, that's how you learn how to, you know, you fall down 9 times, you get up 10. He's like, I don't want to fall at all.
Aww.
And I'm like, why, Dad? Like, why are you so afraid of failure? Why are you so afraid of falling? And his thing was, I don't want to ever go back to how life was for me in Mississippi.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, okay. So I see why you don't, because my dad won't invest in nothing. He ain't taking no chance.
There's no law.
Yeah. Hell no, I'm not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep this bag right here. Like, he ain't taking no risk at all. Me on the other hand, I'm like, well, Dad, you want to be on this next level, but you afraid to do the stuff. That ain't me. I'm gonna put everything into the bag, and we gonna see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like my proudest moment. I always thought that this dude didn't love me, or whatever the case may be. And for him to look me in my face and tell me that, like, it was like the passing of the torch. He was like, I am no longer Mr. Carter, you are. And I'm like, what? And he was like, you've done way better than I ever could imagine, or whatever. And he was like, that's why I defer everything to you, because you're a lot stronger than I ever could be. You know what I'm saying? And so it don't, in that instance, it don't matter when it happens. All that matters is that it happens. But you got to go to the source, though. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. Like, we are afraid to have these conversations.
Right.
You preaching. You know, you can always invest in watching me grow.
Oh, don't have me get on you.
You can always invest in watching me grow.
Don't have me get
Girl
on
is
you.
doing some amazing things here. You know, would you agree, Kev? Kev showed up.
Absolutely. I'm taking it all in. Listen, I don't even not listen. It's my first time listening to him, so I'm definitely taking it in.
Right.
I've got a lot of great things to say, so I'm just listening. I always like hearing knowledge.
And we need it. We got to start teaching these kids something, the mentorship, everything. Like, they won't know if we hold in the information.
Yep. Thank you for sharing that. You preaching and stuff, and you got everybody. You know, it's always. You know,
and just I guess for everybody who don't know who my father is or whatever, my father is Coach Carter.
I know y'all done seen that movie with that pretty guy boy.
Wait. Wait. I mean, I seen your name and I'm like, okay, all right, but I wasn't sure. Like, okay, you just like, you know, basketball, my life, bro. I'm a basketball coach, so I've been following who. We about the same age, so that's why I know, you know, I definitely, you was in the paper a lot, brother. So that's for sure. So that's what's up, though. Okay.
So, but see, people would be like, oh my God, you would put that out there, like that's gonna put like shame on the family name. It's like, nah, it's not, because I'm comfortable in my skin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, basketball was a tool that I used to get me, you know what I'm saying, to where I am. You know what I mean? It definitely opened a whole bunch of doors, but I ain't in the league. You know what I'm saying? But I promise you, there's a whole bunch of them brothers that's running up and down that court that if we went to the bank, I'll tear their ass up.
One second, phone.
That's what's up.
What? Kev.
Yes, ma'am.
Kev. What do you do? What do you advocate for?
Suicide prevention.
Ooh.
It's huge. I mean, it's just I've had to take in ever since my photo went viral. I said, okay, I have to be the one. God is calling me to be this. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't run from this. We don't talk about this as a culture enough, especially as a black man. So to get the opportunity to have a photo that millions of people have seen, and to be able to come to the forefront and talk about that photo is it's my greatest gift I can give back to the world, making people understand that dark, how real that dark place is. I mean,
Do we have the photo? Do you have the photo, Jay?
Let me see if I still have it from when he was on last time.
so
What, Kevin? Can I ask you, what do you do to help with your mental health, especially with you working and advocating? So you drawing in a lot of other people' energy as well. So what do you do for
absolutely.
yourself?
I have to listen. I have to do a lot. It's a day to day thing. It's not something I can. On Monday I can do this. Tuesday it's literally I have to get up every day with a mind motivated to understand. I have to tell I love Kevin. I love you first. Like I'm learning that first because and I'm learning that you can't. We're not supposed to pour in life. I had to learn that. It ain't about pouring. Like the world is supposed to get your overflow. Like we too many times we pour and we trying to pour into each other's cups. We're trying to pour in people's cup and wait for people to pour in us. Life is not about pouring. There's only one pour, and that's God. And the rest of us are, we're supposed to get each other's overflow. And I think that
Right.
having that idea of understanding really helps in the mental health world because a lot of people do inbox me. A lot of people do reach out, and so to understand that I got to be in a certain mind frame so that I can help these people. But I'm honest when I'm dealing with certain things, I let people know because I'm never God has never really put me out of it. I'm in it enough to where I've experienced enough so I can help people that are in it. Like,
Right.
and I think that the blessing is I'm understanding why I'm in it and why I have
Right.
to stay in
Your
it.
purpose.
And it's just not about like, oh, I need to come out of this. I need to get. It's like, well, wait a minute. Somebody got to be at Hell's Gate. I mean,
Right.
somebody has to have that assignment. And why not it be you, Kevin? Why not it be a person that loves unconditionally and understands people that everybody has a why? I mean, because that's just who we are. Every situation in the world has a why. So, I'm grateful for and humbled enough to be able to do what I do now.
I'm sorry. I'm, I love the work that you're doing because it's important. I was speaking to a group yesterday, a group of women on Tuesdays. I provide parenting classes for women that are substance abuse users. And I've been getting new women. They just coming in because we transparent. We keep it real there. I make it a safe environment for them to share. I'm not judgmental. They know I don't care about sharing stuff. I'm an open book. Ask me what you want, and you're going to get an honest answer. And so we went over suicide yesterday, suicide prevention, and we saw stuff in California with children. Oh my gosh, oh my goch, those
The
numbers.
numbers are astronomical in the state.
Man.
It's like 4,000.
Especially since the pandemic has hit.
Kev, I gotta ask you a
We're at
question.
7 years old.
Like how, like I can remember when it was the numbers were crazy. Like I can understand a grown person,
Right.
but a 5 to 10-year-old like that.
Identity. You got to realize the one word. We all struggle with trying to figure out who we are. It's all identity.
Trying to fit in.
Like anything, like all these different things. We want to categorize things, but everybody is trying to figure out who they are, and we just do it at different levels. And so we point the finger at different people, and say, well, oh, you doing this and you doing that, but they just trying to figure out who they are, and that coping mechanism. We get on people, that you drink. And then, you do pot or you do dope. Like everybody got different coping mechanisms trying to figure out the same thing. We all just trying to figure out who we are, why we here, what we're supposed to be down here for. Like that's just what is the assignment for? Like we're all down here in this world trying to figure it out. And for kids, it's a totally different ball game because of where society is and the pressure it is. Like they don't have the understanding to in their brain to have these slots where they can, transform things. It's like, a thought goes in there and they think that's what it is. Like, and because that what society is, because I always say it's the TikTok generation where they got so many information out there and we don't talk about it enough.
Right.
Like every child, every human should have to watch the movie Inside Out.
Listen,
2015 Pixar movie.
wait.
Like it's the greatest movie that ever been created, because it explains these emotions that you need, all of them, how they work together, how these core memories that we all have.
Yeah.
Like, that you should be broadcast. Like Inside Out should be on every mental health. It should be presented in kindergarten, preschool, because it gives the idea of these emotions and these feelings so that we can understand them. See, we wait until people are adults to try to come to them and try to give them information about who they are. It's like, no, we got to give it to them when they're a kid. My child at 8 can accept a lot more than he will be able to accept at 28. The brain at 28 is not going to hold that information. It's not going to want to hear it because you got responsibilities at that age. When they're younger, they have less responsibilities with their brain. Like my son thinks about stuff right now that I don't have the mind capacity to think about. Why? Because I got to worry about responsibilities. I got to worry about, food. I got to worry about all these different things I got to worry about as a man. I can't worry about if humans were around with dinosaurs or like.
They be coming up with some stuff, don't they?
And they be so mind capacity. You see what I'm saying? Like I gotta figure out how to pay this rent. Like mortgages do. Like the bills is like all these different things. Like,
oh man.
But because of that their minds are like that. That's why you have to give them and present them for information that's going to prepare them for the future. Like we don't do a good job as trying to, we try to shadow it and say, well, if we talk about it, it's going to make them think about it. They're going to think about it regardless.
Right.
Or they're going to see it from somewhere else.
And make their own knowledge of it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know why we so scared to talk about something that exists. One person dies every 40 seconds in the world. Why are we not talking about this?
Right.
Like since we've been on here, an hour or something? Look how many people, somebody somewhere in the world says, you know what, I'm not enough.
Right.
That's the reality. And we don't want to deal with that part. Like we don't want to deal with that. We would like they're gone, but we don't want to deal with the why. Like, and I'll always say there's no reason why all these people in the world, nobody should feel alone. Because nobody's dealing with one thing single-handedly by themselves. Somebody somewhere is dealing with the same thing you're dealing with.
Same thing.
And it's crazy that you just said that. With all the technology in the world, streaming services, cell phones, and all of that, like there's so much stuff that could bring us closer, but yet we are so
far
apart.
It makes no sense. I did a live video when I went to Chicago, and I walked around for 28 minutes, and I said, I'm going to walk around until somebody makes eye contact with me. 28 minutes. I personally sat on the ground in Chicago in front of the Trump Hotel, laid on the ground. Me, I didn't look homeless. I was well dressed. Nobody ever said, is everything okay? Everybody walked around me. Everybody kept walking. And I was on Facebook Live. I just wanted to prove a point that we are so disconnected from society and each other.
Right.
Like humanity, we're disconnected because we only care about what we got going on, knowing that what we all in the world, like everybody in the world is struggling with something. We just all mask it differently. We just all have a way of coping with it and to show it and make it look like we ain't dealing with it. And the next person looks at it like, oh, look at their life, like it's just not true. Like, it ain't right to showcase, everybody want to showcase their joy and nobody want to talk about their pain.
Listen,
that's why, because we all hurting. Like, don't nobody want to, the pain, I'll be honest with you, all the pain is, when I really look at it, taking my business I started my company in my garage, right? In my garage, taking it to where it is now. I got 496 employees, and taking it to where it is now. It was the struggles, all of the pain and the struggles and stuff. That's when I was the most creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, when everything's going well, you get comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? You get caught up in the other stuff or whatever. But I've noticed that when my back has been against the wall, that's when I perform the best.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Why? You know, something just came in my head. Because it's still one song. You made a way when my back was against the wall and it looks like if it was over. You was probably weak. You probably just God gave you the strength, gave you everything you needed, guided you to make things happen.
Sometimes it's like that. We stubborn, and God knows He gotta. In order to get us the best out of us, He gotta put us in. You know, I'm stubborn, so I know why God put me in certain situations He put me in. Like I know why the bridge exists. I'm stubborn. You know, so He said I'm gonna put it out there in front, so the world, so you can't hide from it no more. And then I'm gonna use it for your good and have me benefit from it and I'm gonna get the glory from it. So it's all a setup. So your worst day, my worst day of my life was a setup for God to get glory. Because when people see that photo, they don't look at a black deranged man over the railing or a white man. They say, "Oh my God." That's the first thing people say. You know, and so it was all about Him getting the glory. So I think that, you know, some of us, we just got to be put in situations, man. That's just how it is. It's like we ain't gonna never. You was never gonna get the best out of me. If the bridge never existed, I never would be where I'm at today.
All right.
I'm trying to show.
Which is why he's so forgiving, because he probably oh wow, my God, bro.
I see that. That's
Up,
bro. You on Tower 2?
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
March 11, 2005.
How long were you up there for?
90 minutes.
Over 100 minutes. They documented it as 92 minutes, but it was well over 100 minutes.
Oh, bro.
March 11, it's 2005. Yeah. That's why I tell people, like, you know, if you can. I tell people all the time, like, you don't tell me how that your life, you know,
Right.
Things can't get better. Like, you know,
Right.
Man, I'm not, and this is number 11 of 22 unsuccessful attempts. This is not number 1 or number 2, like, you know. So it's an understanding that when God says He's not done, He's just not done, and
right.
That's just what it is. The reality is, I didn't, you know, I jumped.
You have to make me cry. You even dealing with all that, man, Kevin. God bless you.
Real talk, Kev. My favorite thing in the world ever, when I come home, is walking the bridge.
Yes, sir.
I can tell you what tower you on right now. Like, everything. Wow, bro, wow, bro. You are an amazing human being.
Man.
I appreciate it, man. One day at a time, man. You know, I just try to get back and get my little part, man. That's all I try to do, man. You know, I don't have a choice after experiences like that. You know, you get to a point in your life, it's just like, you know, it ain't about me no more, man. And even I try to make it about me, I always fail. It ain't about me. Like, you know, that's just the way it is. It ain't none of us about us. I'm on assignment down here. My job is to, you know, be at Hell's Gate, stop people from going in, and pull people that happen to go in there, and that's just, you know, that's just what it is. And I got to deal with whatever I got to deal with because of that. And you know, like, the glory is understanding when it's all done, I get to rest.
You don't know what to say?
Like, I get to rest.
Because this was the topic when you came on. What was the topic discussion? What was the title? It was the power of listening.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Because Mr. Briggs, I wonder if Mr. Briggs watching. Mr. Briggs is amazing. Like, oh my God.
That's my guy.
Amazing. Like, and he talks about just how he just listened to Kevin. That's all he did, was just listen to him. That's all. No judgment, no nothing. Kevin was having a bad day. You can share what you had experienced. If you want to share what you was experiencing that day before you hopped over there.
I mean, like I say, that's 22, March 11, 2005, I went to the Briggs, 22 years of not dealing with my issues. Like, not internalizing every painful moment of my life, compartmentalizing it, like literally going through the emotions. Something would happen to me in life and I didn't want to deal with it, and I was afraid to deal with the emotion of it. So I would, like, literally open up a door on the inside of me and close it, throw it in there. And that day, March 11, 2005, every door opened up and I was faced to feel everything. And I got overwhelmed. And I was, you know, up until that point, I've been my own superhero, my own, you know, motivational speaker. Come on, Kev, we can get through this. And I couldn't find a why. Life is about having why. Life is about, you know, looking forward to things. If you don't have anything you're looking forward to, you're going to be depressed. Like, you're going to be overwhelmed. Life is going to be overwhelming all the time. You have to have things to look forward to. And I couldn't find a reason of why to get up, why to keep going. And, you know, I was reminded of that after I got all these things out that day, and that it was my daughter. Just knowing her birthday, which was the next month, that I needed to be there for her, if nothing else. And I stood around just for that. I mean, but I had to get out all that stuff. And I was, like I said, that was the first conversation I've ever had in my life. Literally, first conversation I ever had about how I felt to anybody in my life at 22. So I mean, that's doesn't make any sense. Like, we gotta, and that's why I advocate for our youth that we gotta have conversations before you get to your bridge. Like, I don't want anybody. I tell people all the time. I didn't go to the bridge for Kevin's birthday. I went to the bridge for everybody who was thinking about going to the bridge. I've
Right.
already experienced that for you. Like, let me tell you how not to get there. Let me walk you through what we need to do so that you'll never end up at that moment.
I
And
like that one, kid. That right there, I'm taking that, bro.
yeah,
Like, wow, like you done already did that for me.
I did it.
Right?
I did it. Why you don't have to do
Man.
it? I didn't already experience that trouble, and my thinking back and looking at my mom, and the who she is today is because of that day, because of that call, and her not being able to relax and never having a moment of peace because she's so worried about it. It caused so much, and I'm here, so I can only imagine the people that lose a loved one. Like, the
Right.
effect that it has on people. So I'm always gonna advocate that, man, you deserve to see it get better. Like, you can't go through all this and not get to see it get better. Like, I ain't gonna go through all this in my life and just give up and don't see the end of it, and still don't see the other side of it. Like, if a man goes 50 years poor, homeless, and then gets all the money in the world at 51, I feel like that's worth it. Like, I don't know. It's just your perception of how you look at life. It's just we're gonna
Exactly.
go through things. Like, it's gonna, the
Yeah,
world was a dark place.
Kev
It's
just
not this
Kev
beautiful
just
place
changed
that
my
people try to
whole
make
life
it seem like. It's
with
a
that
dark
statement.
place. And so success has to be just peace of mind. Success
Right.
can't be the big house, the bag, the car. Success has to be peace of mind in a
Right.
world that doesn't have peace. So if you can accumulate peace of mind, then you have it. Like, that's the success.
See,
Like,
that's crazy, Jay. Wasn't we just talking about that? We was just talking about that because we were talking about success and all that other kind of stuff. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm going, yeah, like I got all that. And then for so long, I felt empty because I ain't gonna lie, Kev. I had my bridge point because I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking if I get out here and be as successful I can be, money will take care of everything. And it was like I got out there and I did all that, but I was alone.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, when you have something in your hand that you're trying to build, nobody understands, like Jay with your business. Nobody understands that plan but you. Because
mhm,
That's true.
what nobody giving that idea or that blueprint, God gave that to you. So of
mhm,
course nobody else is gonna understand it, whatever the case may be. But in my mind, I'm thinking I got something that's gonna take care of the village. Like, y'all gotta get with me on this, but they never could understand it. But it wasn't until I got to the other side, because trust me, when I failed, everybody laughed. You know what I'm saying? And it was a whole bunch of I told you so's and all that. And then out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, when it hit, like now everybody was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you."
But that's how.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, that whole comment right there, I hate that comment. I think that's bullshit.
yeah,
Because don't be proud of me because it hit, and now we have an abundance of money where I can supply your desires and all that kind of stuff. Be happy that I actually had the balls to
yeah,
do it.
Do it. Right.
That's what I want you to be proud of. Don't be proud of me because I went and got the bag. Be proud of me that I was brave enough to take that journey
Wasn't
and
scared.
yeah, and go through everything and keep going and keep going and keep going, and then I made it. Be proud of that. Don't be proud of the byproducts. That's what I how I look at money. I look at money as that's just a byproduct or whatever. But people never ask, how did you get there?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Which is why, what was one of the things that I loved about Kobe was he was never concerned with the destination.
yeah,
He wanted to know how the meticulous stuff that you did to get to the
yeah.
destination. Because at the end of the
You
day,
overlook the journey.
Yeah,
Right.
because at the end of the day, it was meant for me to get there. That's
You gonna
why.
always have a
Right.
destination.
Right.
Yeah,
The
that's
destination
why
gonna
God.
keep changing
That's why
and
God
that's what
gave me
makes
the
it a new
idea.
journey.
Yeah, that's why
Right.
God gave me the idea. You know what I'm saying? And then just Kevin and his journey, all right there. You took me back, Kev, to 1999. I never forget it. I got baptized my senior year of high school. Whatever. You just took me back. You just said it. You went and stood over the bridge and you took that fight, you took that battle so that I didn't have to do it.
Mhm.
Right? They say that we all made in God's image. So Kevin is Jesus Christ all over again. You did that for me. You crucified yourself for me. Like now I ain't gotta go stand on the bridge. So now every time I go through something now, I'm gonna remember
Out
that.
here.
I'm gonna remember that picture. Like, man, Kev was on the bridge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it is no way now I can stop
Right.
now. Kev was on
Right.
the bridge. Like Kev, you just changed my whole life. You just changed.
Right.
I don't care what program you got going, you need funding, bro. Get my number from Jay. Got it.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. That was good. That's good you saw that because I saw that too. When you
Like real talk though, like he was like when he said that, I was like, wow, I was like crazy. Like he took that, he did that for me, so I ain't gotta do it.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, I ain't got time to be
I honestly
crying.
want people to feel like that, like in a real way. I mean, because it's no point. Like I didn't talk to, if not probably thousands of mothers since I entered the mental health world in 2013. Like thousands of loved ones. I'd had to attend funerals. I didn't have to speak at funerals. Like I keep trying to tell people, man, this stuff you gotta it gets like you gotta literally allow things to get better. Like that is not that ain't the reason, that ain't the choice, that ain't you gotta stay down here on your assignment. The world can't get better. Like, we all have our own particular assignment. And the world will never get better if you leave it because can't nobody do what you can do. I don't care who you are in the world, you got some kind of quality that the world needs. Just the reality of it. Like, so I'm gonna continue to always pray for all humanity. I don't stop at just good people. I pray for the bad people because they have a why too. I'm probably the only person in the world who wants to sit the devil down and says, well, why are you the devil? Like what is your why? Because what motivates you to kill, steal, and destroy? Like why? Because we talk about, oh, it's a horrible person. Why? What made him get to that point?
Because he don't know who he is.
That's what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? Because he don't know who he is, so systematically what we do and what we process as men and as people, when we don't know who we are, we're following the steps of, the person that left. Like, who leaves heaven? Like, think about how crazy, like, when the idea of crazy, like, who would leave heaven?
Right.
Like, think like psychologically, like, think about that. Like, if we think about that and just be like,
it ties back to what you said, Kev. It goes back to what you said. You said we all have a gift, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think my idea of it is what it said in the Bible. He was the prettiest. He had the most.
He had everything going for him.
He had everything going for him, right? But I think his problem was maybe him going, I'm the prettiest. I'm the strongest. At this point, I'm the closest. But still, and yet, you're not trusting me with the ultimate assignment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got the ultimate assignment for this other cat who ain't even born yet. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How that's gonna happen? Wait, like, whoa, wait a minute. And that's just what I think. And I think his whole exit from heaven was, okay, well, if I can't save it, then I'll be the chaotic force or whatever the case may be. And I think he was just overwhelmed when that ultimate sacrifice was made, because that's where it took me when I saw your picture. When you said you took that you stood over that rail for me, I'm thinking like, man, like you just cleared my whole palate. Because I'm
Because
like,
that day was supposed to be meant for the devil's glory, like
you know what I'm
and
saying?
God turned it around, and you don't say, "Dang, look at the devil." Nobody says that when they see that photo. They don't say nothing about. He's not even talked about. You may talk about him later on as you get into the story, but when you first initially see it, it's one name that you see, and that's why I love it. I love that it's a black white, idea, because that's where our society is. We deal with so many systematic ideas of this cop propaganda and all these different issues that a white cop and a black cop can't have a real conversation to move forward or have a real relationship or a real friendship. It's a white man from Marin. I'm a black man from California. I mean, Oakland, California. We don't even supposed to be having a conversation together. We don't even ever supposed to be in the same building together, let alone walk, traveling around the world speaking together. So, I'm grateful, man. I can't, like I say, I'm grateful. I'm going through a lot to even get on this line, and it's just like it lets me know, like, Kevin, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You can't just because
that
everything
gratitude
is
is
like I'm about to
important,
text her
man.
and just say, you know what, today ain't the day. Like I didn't have it in me today, and so I still pushed my way and got on here. But see,
Thank you.
Just keep pressing your way because you never
I
know
thank
what
you,
you're gonna
Kev.
get out of it.
I thank you, Kev, man. You just,
Me too.
I'm
bro,
gonna keep pressing.
you
You encourage me to keep pressing.
bro,
If I could just take one person and you get something from it, and then you gonna go spread that, then to another person, and that person gonna spread it, and that person gonna spread it. Then we start a great seed for this world.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Jay was talking about this. What was it, yesterday or the day before that? Like, I truly believe that this whole life experience, it was meant to be a team effort.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I think when man starts to realize that, you know what I'm saying, we need each other, you know what I'm saying? Like the world of, we haven't figured that out yet, that we need each other, but every piece of this puzzle ties back to needing us for something.
Right.
Just I mean, just in a why why a black man need a black woman. Just even that one, like, you know what I mean. Like, you came from one, you know what I'm saying, and she came from one, so she understands what your struggle is and what you're going through. Now, love who you love. I don't, you know what I'm saying. It is what it is, whatever the case may be. But like, even that fight between man and woman, like, at some point in time, we're gonna have to realize that I need her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She
It's
needs
about
me.
the trust. We just
Yeah.
discussed that trust.
I think the best analogy that I got for that is when your phone dies down, when that battery gets red, what do you do?
Throw it on the truck.
Y'all, yeah. I'm like, y'all
Like
I'm tired.
you plug it in, right?
Right.
So let me see, where my plug at? So, you know what I mean, you got the plug, you put the plug in, right? And then that recharge light starts coming on and it recharges, right? Ain't that the same thing that happens though when I become one with you?
Yeah. That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah, absolutely.
The recharge.
Right.
So when I leave the house and I gotta go fight the world and all that, when I come home, that's a whole other conversation.
Brother, you gotta talk to me. I'm telling you, we can get into it. You don't be understanding.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, y'all play too much. Okay, this is PG-13. Okay, we had this discussion. We can have this discussion afterwards. We're gonna be behind the stage, but I see a lot of comments with the God is good, amen, and guess it's Watch Me Grow Ministry. So y'all can we accepting donations and offerings right now. No, I'm like,
You played so much.
so,
Hold on. We gotta.
always donate to Watch Me Grow Ministries. Okay, we got Pastor Berthio tonight. We got Pastor Carter on tonight. So they doing some preaching tonight. So Yeah, we gotta go though, y'all. It's 9:02.
I didn't even get to break into the ha. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Well,
Oh man.
y'all got any last thing you wanna share with anybody?
I just want to say thank you, you two beautiful black women for creating a platform um, for me and my brother here, Kevin, to come on and be able to talk freely. You know what I'm saying? And not be judged for our weaknesses per se. Because regardless of what society say, whatever the case may be, we all got weaknesses of some sort. And for me, I've been on many shows or whatever where you try to open up to people, and then the first thing they do is and use that information to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Jay, you know about a situation that I had with that, and they use the information that you give them against you. So I want to thank you two ladies for making me safe and being a place of peace
That's what's up.
and a place where I can express myself and be myself and know that y'all gonna still love me tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining. Thank you. And I hope this not your first visit. I hope you plan on coming back on like Kevin has. So greatly appreciate both of you gentlemen tonight sharing you guys' story.
I ain't
Very
trying to
enlightening for me.
I ain't
Very
trying to get
enlightening.
beat
So I
up.
appreciate you.
Sis, I gotta talk to you. I ain't trying to get beat up.
Yeah.
I think I'm Tina, and she's Ike.
Kevin, don't laugh at that.
It's okay. That's where we got to get to the trust more. We got to get to the trust, learning how to deal with the moment that we in with that trust. Instead of always thinking ahead, sometimes that brain to go ahead and come up with its own stuff. The moment is so important.
Brother Kev.
Yes, ma'am.
What you want to share with the viewers tuning in right now? Last words.
I appreciate it for the opportunity. Anybody out there, if you're struggling, if you're in a dark place, please accept where you're at. And you know, a lot of times we don't accept where we're at, so that we try to go away from how they feel and accept where you're at, so that God will put the right people in your life and send the right help. But if you don't accept where you're at, you're gonna miss the help. Like where you're at, I don't care what you've done, it doesn't define who you at. Some of the most successful people in the world, are not successful at 30 and 40. Like, these things, this idea of success, like we have to get it out of our head. Like, you have to start thinking about peace of mind and loving yourself. So if you're in that dark place, reach out. Like it's so many resources. My name is Kevin Berthia. I am everywhere. You just Google my name, and I don't say that because I don't, want to be popping or something. It's information out there. If you need help to get back on track, somebody out there, you got a question that you wasn't able to talk about. I'm on all social medias. I have my personal number. I give it out all the time because it's not a big deal.
Can you type your info? Oh, are you able to type your info in the comments?
Hold on. Oh yeah, wait. Let's see. Maybe.
Daniel, what do you do for your mental health?
Call your sister.
Oh, okay. God, I don't know if that's the right thing. You gonna get you a real therapist?
I'm on mute. I kept putting you on mute and it was echoing.
Why am I echoing?
I don't know, but don't do that, Kevin. You got it in there? You put it on there?
I just put my the website in there, and then I'll put my email in there too.
Fatima, don't do that. Am I a good listener?
If he need a real therapist.
No, so I'm gonna be like 100% across the board when I say this. So I go to the VA for mental health and stuff like that, right? I'll be honest. It's hard for me to look at a man who doesn't look like me,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
who doesn't have to deal with the stigmatism and stuff that I have to deal with. I mean, for crying out loud, I my one of my experiences that still haunts me to this day is I moved into a real prominent neighborhood, right? Now I'll be honest, I never would have bought the house, but it was in foreclosure. You know what I'm saying? And it is. I mean, I'm in a couple Cardinals and stuff are my neighbors. I'm in a good neighborhood or whatever. So it was the craziest thing moving in, right? Pulling stuff out of boxes. Folks just walk right in. Did not. Just walk right in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from Richmond, California.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? But I want to see what was going on immediately. Can you tell me what the owner is?
I am the owner.
Who the? In my mind, I'm like, who you think I? You know what I mean? Like, so me, I'm, me, bro. I'm so retarded with it. I'm like, I think he's walking around here somewhere, right? So they're walking up to different movers, going, you know what I'm saying? Hey, can you show me who the owner is? Finally, they get to somebody, and he goes, "That's dude right there," right? So now it's to stroll back over to me, and then it's immediately, well, who do you play for?
Yeah.
What's funny? I'm sorry. What's
Ignorance is bliss.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't play for
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't play
all
for
right?
nobody.
That's not right that he has to be an athlete.
You know,
Yeah.
no. So I went from a mover to what team do I play for to you must be one of those new .comers. You work for Tesla or yada yada, and I'm like, no. It got all the way down. I'm like, no, I'm not any of those things. I run my own business. And the first thing it's so weird when you tell them that you own your own business.
Yep.
What's the first thought?
Drugs.
Drug dealer. Drugs that you push your weight.
His man's about to buy it.
Got the pounds. you push.
I can't just be a honest entrepreneur.
Black man working.
I'm just Nino Brown, huh?
Start going them pounds.
Like, man, like for real. Like I'm just Nino, huh? Okay. They have this view of us. They can't see us as anything else. We're either entertainers, you're a rapper, you're an athlete, or you selling, you doing something, you selling dope somewhere. You can't be a chairman of a corporation.
Yeah. But what's crazy is the levels of the chairman of the organization, how he got to where he's at.
But it's
lied,
weird though.
Cheated, steal, like
it's
weird.
When you say that though, because I love saying that when they be like, oh, so you're like the manager, or or you're maybe the president or whatever, and then I go, no, I'm chairman of the board. It's like how do you even know what the fuck that means?
Yeah.
Like no, I'm chairman of the board. I'm sorry. What was that again? I'm the founder and chairman of the board. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nobody owns me.
Okay.
and then and they have this look on their face like
Y'all know what?
and then you get that what the statement that I have gotten, and it's been the hardest statement I've ever had to accept in my life. But I had a older white gentleman tell me that I was a exceptional with the hard R. Why you looking at me like I didn't say it, but I was an exceptional with the hard R. Right?
Really?
And in my mind, I'm gonna beat this motherfucker down. But I had to remember that same person that called me that ran up a $5 million tab. So, so I had to
pick your poison. You got to pick your poison.
It's like, ooh, do you know what I'm saying? Do I pick this fight or whatever the case may be?
Because it's not going to change him. That's why. That's another thing why
I can't change this man's opinion.
No, he's not. Because you know what? You would have just been. You still the same thing. It's not.
Yeah. Still a nigga.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye let us know. You know, just
with the R, with the strong R.
Yeah, but it was just weird to me that, and even hearing like politicians talk about Barack in his early days, like we can't. They can't accept the fact that we're powerful. They always gotta put something in front of us, in front of our name or in front of us to bring us down. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be I couldn't just be an exceptional man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time, we're gonna have to start a whole different kind of podcast. Okay, so
come on.
Don't talk. No. I said Damien. We're gonna talk.
This the crew right here. This the crew right here.
We're gonna talk.
This the crew right here.
So we're gonna shut down right now. We're gonna talk.
Yeah, thank you, because we way over time, but we appreciate those that are still viewing. Greatly appreciate it. Great conversation. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for your time.
Black churches don't end. Y'all better quit playing.
We got the food in the back.
That's why look, when we was in the double digits for the viewers, at least 20 something. When we was I should have put this up. That was the right time to throw.
Right. You see how they started in the beginning, right? Don't. Right.
Like we jumped out popping though. Like I think our first 5 minutes, it was popping. Like those comments was rolling in.
Yeah. There you go.
Let me know if y'all got time next week.
You don't want it to end. Well, you don't want it to end. What has to end, Megan? I love you. I love everyone that's tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to Bounceback Wednesday. You guys can check us out next Wednesday at 7:30. Okay, every Wednesday at 7:30, we will be here. Different discussion. Always gonna be transparency. Always gonna keep it real. So be sure to tune in, you guys. Okay. We love you. Don't forget to share it. Okay. Don't forget to tell people. Invite people to come on next Wednesday. Okay.
Kev, I'm gonna get your info, bro.
You stay out. Y'all just don't go nowhere. Y'all stay right here.
Everybody have a blessed evening.
Don't go nowhere.